You're listening to Women in Wellness, a program to help you create gorgeous growth for your blissful business in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Gabby, holistic health expert and founder of Women in Wellness, a one-of-a-kind course and community designed to empower and inform you about how to build a purposeful and profitable holistic business. I'm very excited for today's interview because I have a great guest, Donna Carroll. Donna is the creator and co-founder of Ecstatic Dance Oakland, the largest weekly conscious dance on the planet, bringing over 300 people together every Sunday morning and Wednesday evening. She's also the founder of Dance Leadership, where dance entrepreneurs learn business and community building skills specifically designed for them. Hi, Donna.
Hey, Gabby. Thanks for having me.
Yay. Dancing our way to leadership. What a fun concept.
Right. Oh, yeah.
For some reason, I have this vision in my mind of like a conga line of CEOs, kind of like.
That would be awesome. That's so needed.
So my first question for you was, how and why did you become a dance teacher? And when I sent you that question, you wrote back to me, I'm not a dance teacher, which I thought was interesting. So maybe we can start there. My assumption was that if you created, Ecstatic Dance Oakland, that you were a dance teacher. So what is that all about? Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah, sure. That's what most people ask me. What kind of dance do you teach and how do you teach? And ecstatic dance is different in that it's a free form dance. So everyone dances however they want. So no one's leading and no one's telling them what to do. And it tends to draw in a lot of people that are a little rebellious in nature, that are like, I don't want to be told what to do. Don't give me choreography. Don't give me the steps. I just want to be free and move and express myself. And so that's what ecstatic dance is. And if you can imagine this, you're at a rave, but you're grown up. You're not a child, but you're grown up and you're at a rave, and it is like the best rave that you've ever experienced. And the music's pumping and you're just like dancing and going for it. Now, imagine that scene in the morning with kids around, sober, in a giant ballroom instead of a warehouse. That's ecstatic dance.
Nice. And why? Like where is the birth of this, and why did you create this?
Yeah, so I found ecstatic dance on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I was going through this huge transition in my life. I'd just gotten divorced. I'd been in a corporate career my whole life and just felt so disconnected from everything. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was really lost. And so I decided, well, let me take a yoga teacher training and see if I can find some parts of myself back. And it was at that yoga teacher training on the Big Island of Hawaii that I discovered ecstatic dance. And it was the first time in my life, Gabby, that I ever felt free. It was the first time in my life that I ever felt part of something bigger than myself. And I just felt this expansion. And I loved it so much. I stayed there for 3 months. And I danced twice a week there, and I just fell in love with it and completely changed my life. And then I came back to the Bay Area, I came back to Oakland, and I searched for it everywhere. I was like, I need this in my life. I need the bass. I need the expression. I need the crazy. I need all the heartfelt, the part of the group feeling. And I just couldn't find it. And I had no idea that I wanted to be an entrepreneur at that point. I just thought, well, I need this, so I'm going to make it happen. So I bought a Eurovan and I moved into a Eurovan so that I could afford to pay my rent to the ballroom that I had rented instead of to a landlord. And that's how Ecstatic Dance started, with 33 people. And I ended up branding it and doing a whole thing. And now it's spread to, almost 50 or 60 across the whole world, actually.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Total movement.
The way you describe it almost sounds like a spiritual experience to me, like stuff that I've had in my meditations or in my travels when I land in this incredible place. I'm like, whoo, I'm so outside myself. It has that kind of connotation when you talk about it.
Yeah, it can be, definitely. The cool thing about ecstatic dance is that people find whatever they need there. And as they change and grow and shift, they find new things. And they're learning by trying out new things and by doing. And so, many times people will have these profound spiritual experiences like I did, and these profound sense of connection and entrainment with other people, which I'll explain what that is in a second.
Yeah.
But and sometimes people just go and like to have fun and sweat. And sometimes people just go because they like the community and they like to meet other people that are really active. But one of my favorite things that happens at ecstatic dance is it's called entrainment. And it's, if you can imagine, when you put a whole bunch of grandfather clocks in a room together, and the things are swinging back and forth. I don't know what those things
pendulum
are.
maybe.
Yeah, the pendulums are swinging back and forth. And after a while, they all start to swing in unison. And that's entrainment. It just happens. It happens because of gravity and that happens at ecstatic dance as well, because we've got this great music with this bass that's like very, very much like the grandfather clock, just steady, and everyone eventually kind of falls into that rhythm. And then when that happens, it's like, oh, we're all like some sort of our like tribal nature comes back to us, and all of the labels and the everything kind of just falls away, and we're just in this like really raw, like super vulnerable but really real human state of connection with each other. And it's amazing what happens in that state. Like, I mean, neurologically, so many things happen with dopamine and the feel good love chemicals that just flood your brain, and the judgment goes away and all that. But it's the most amazing feeling in the world. And yeah, I think it's a spiritual experience. Not everyone goes for that reason, but for me, it definitely is. And for a lot of people, it is too.
And this is like a huge shift from like your life pre-ecstatic dance, right? Did you have like a career before you started this?
Yeah. Oh my God. My life is so different. Yeah. Before I started ecstatic dance, I was a clothing designer, and I worked for large companies. And my last job before I quit my life was working at Lane Bryant as a jeans designer.
Whoa.
And, yeah. And it was crazy. I'd be in these meetings in these gray cubicles, and I would just feel so stifled. And I have this really vivid memory of, I was in the offices at Lane Bryant in Columbus, Ohio, staring out the window. It was like this beautiful spring day. And I literally felt like I was in a prison. I was like, get me out of here. I can't do this. I don't know what I want to do, but like, I can't stand this like cubicle land for one more minute. And I've always been like an adventurous girl, like love to travel, so it just felt so disconnecting for me to be in that space,
So what is life like now as an entrepreneur? I suspect you don't have a cubicle at home where you're
Oh my God, no, this is my home office.
What's it like now being an entrepreneur?
Oh, it's good. It's interesting. I feel like being an entrepreneur is a spiritual path in a way, because I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and I feel like the business kind of presents me with the next growth opportunity and the next growth opportunity and the next one. And it ain't always easy, it can be a total roller coaster. I mean, this week I'm launching 2 things, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm putting myself out there. I feel so vulnerable. It's crazy. If it weren't for my friends and my mastermind group, I would like be in bed under the covers, but it's, one thing I really love is that I can come up with a crazy idea and then make it happen like that. That's what I love about being an entrepreneur.
You don't need anybody's permission to do it.
No. When I worked in big companies, it was like, oh my God, I need permission from 10 people, and it takes forever to get anything done. And one thing I realized is not all my ideas are great ideas. So I have so many, so I usually have to sit with them for a while, check in with some people, and then I can like go make it happen. And I love that. I absolutely love that.
And you mentioned some like sort of lifelines, friends, masterminds. Like, can you say more about what the lifelines are that keep you
big time.
sane?
In the past, maybe in the past 3 years, I've really been focusing on getting my support groups in order, and it's made all the difference in my business. Number one, it's fun, because it's like I gather with my girlfriends and we like help each other with our businesses and support each other and have, it's so fun. So yeah, I have a mastermind group. We meet every other week, And there's just 3 of us women, and we have very different businesses, but we just support each other. And not only with the tough things, but like, what do you do when someone signs up for your course and you want to celebrate? Like, I'm like looking around, like, So I call up my mastermind. I'm like, hey, they're like, yeah, because they know how much work went into it, and they really know like what it took to get there, right? So it's so super fun to celebrate. And we go on one retreat every year where we just like totally live it up and vision and dream for the next year. Nice. So much fun. Yeah.
How did you find those women? Did you put an ad on Craigslist, or like what how do you find them?
Oh gosh, I believe in synchronicity. And they were women that I knew that had thriving businesses, and I just asked them. I didn't even know what a mastermind was. I'm like, hey, you want to be in a mastermind? They're like, great, what's that? I'm like, I don't know, let's make it up. It's awesome. But the other thing that I do is I have an accountability partner, and we check in with each other twice a week, every Monday and every Friday. And that has made such a difference too. It's just a 10-minute call. And it's just like, here's the scope of my week and what I want to get done. And here's the end of the week, here's what I got done, and here's what I didn't, and here's why. And that is just huge. I really recommend anyone do that. And I just found her, she was just someone that I knew from my community, and I took her out to lunch because I wanted to get to know her better. And we were talking, and I was like, yeah, what I really need is I just need accountability. She's like, yeah, me too. We're like, okay, let's do it. So it's again that like synchronicity, and just
nice. And you're describing such an openness, though. You're describing like a lot. Like I coach, the women in my community, and one of the comparisons I make is that there's a difference between having like that collaborative versus competitive mindset. Like what you're describing sounds to me like you're so open for feedback. You're so open for collaboration. You're open for the accountability, right? It's not like you're kind of, looking around at what other people are doing and just trying to get ahead. It's like it's a really kind of fresh approach that I think makes the kind of solopreneurship a bit easier.
Yeah. And more fun for sure. I haven't always been that way, to be honest. I had one of my teachers, actually, I used to be so jealous of her. And at one point I'm like, why am I jealous? And she was like speaking on stages, and I was like, that's why. And I really had to look at myself and be like, wow, that's because that's what I want, and it has nothing to do with her. It's just that like, there's a part of me that really wants that. And then I had to look at myself and say, well, why would someone hire me to speak on stage? They have no proof that I'd be good speaking on stage. So I had to like build that up and create that. And yeah, so it's nice to be able to like recognize that, oh yeah, there's a little jealousy there, but why? And it never has anything to do with the other person.
Yeah, that's funny, because I have the same kind of feeling whenever I see somebody and I get that feeling. I'm like, oh, it's like a message, like, oh, there's something you want to be doing that you're not doing.
Right. And actually, one of my teachers really early in my career, they said, every time that you're in a group of people, there will be one person that like triggers you in some way or annoys you in some way. And that one person is your greatest teacher.
Yeah.
And it's been true every time I'm in a group. And I find that person and I seek them out and I befriend them, because I'm like, they have something to teach me,
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
It is. It's a fun little game to play.
So what are you growing and building? You mentioned like expansion, and you're going into different states and stuff. What's happening for you?
Oh my God. I'm having so much fun. Since I joined the 108, our conscious business collective, it's been such a fun opportunity to really step outside myself yet again with support and guidance. And right now, I am planning the Ecstatic Dance Leadership Training, which is this summer in July. And we did it last year. It was so awesome, where we teach people how to bring ecstatic dance to their cities. And it's so cool because it's a combination between like a really embodied entrepreneur training and a dance training. And no one does anything like that. And it's like, how do you embody business skills? And for me, like, that's what my whole life is about. And it's like, okay, how do I dance confidence? How do I bring that confidence in, and what do I need to create connection and all of that stuff. And so we teach people and bring them together, and they just form like the sweetest connections and friendships. And the teachers that I have co-teaching with me are just amazing dance teachers, and they know how to hold space. And it's really interesting because, to be an ecstatic dance leader, you have to have that business side, but then you also have to put on that hat of community leader. And they're quite different in a lot of ways, but the training really like helps us to combine them. Nice. And then the other thing I'm doing, which I'm super excited about, is I'm creating a shortened version of ecstatic dance called Ecstatic Fit. And it's like Zumba for rebels, for people who like don't want to be told what to do. It's like you just throw people in this room for an hour and just dance our asses off and sweat like crazy and just like have that amazing experience, and then go home and then come back 2 days later and do it again.
That's so fun.
Yeah, so I get to work with like coolest people too. I'm working with these amazing DJs that have DJ'd at Burning Man and Wanderlust, and I'm working with the Polish ambassador's lighting guy, and it's so fun to work with these like intensely creative people.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you find yourself then mentoring other entrepreneurs, right? Because if they're then building this in their community, they're probably looking to you also for that kind of mentoring support, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And so what's that like? I mean, when you meet these aspiring entrepreneurs who are wanting to create change in the community, build something in the community, be a community leader, like what's your advice to them? How do you guide them?
Well, most of the time they don't realize that they're aspiring entrepreneurs. Kind of like when I started, I was just like at this thing that I needed. It's very similar. They're just like, I just want to teach dance. I just want to help more people dance. And so the first thing that I help them do is to recognize that they are entrepreneurs, and that's like part of the fun and part of the journey of growth and part of all of it. And then once they realize that, then they start to kind of flip their mindset and see things very differently. And then I can help them learn marketing, and then I can help them learn other things about the business aspect of things. Because they know how to build community. They're great at that. They know how to hold space for dance. They're great at that. It's the other part. And I'm a really good, like, in between world walker. What do you call that? Those people, I can translate business stuff from the business world to the really embodied dance world. So I'm good at like bridging that gap and helping people to see it in a way that they can understand.
That seems like a rare skill. It's kind of like you're either good at one or the other, but having that balance of both seems like a rare ability.
Yeah, it's fun. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family.
Oh,
as the
so it's in your DNA.
It's in my DNA, I didn't realize how much I absorbed growing up of like, my family talked about business all the time at the dinner table, and I, must have gotten in there somehow.
Nice.
Yeah, my grandmother, she owned her own beauty parlor way back in the day. And then she owned a ski resort, and then she owned a campground.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's one of my heroes.
Grandma was a badass entrepreneur. Oh my God, that's so fun.
Yeah.
That's the best.
I know.
Awesome. Okay, so do you have a sense of, like, a lot of the women that listen to this are, working in the health, wellness, fitness space. Mm-hmm. They're aspiring to create something meaningful and purposeful. And I see a lot of challenges that come up as I'm talking to them. You already mentioned dancing confidence, but, there is like issues around self-doubt. There is issues around time management or being productive or being accountable or, a whole number of things. Do you see certain things in your community as people are moving into that leadership role?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we probably experience a lot of the same things with people having a hard time being accountable. And that's a big thing. which I would say, like, get support, get support, get support, get support, get support. Like, I cannot stress that enough, because like for me, that was a game changer. That just changed everything. And like, what do you do when you have that day where you just want to like pull the covers over your head
I was
and you're
going to say,
like,
how do you
oh
maintain
my
the
God.
energy, the enthusiasm, the inspiration, the motivation? Like, how do you maintain that?
Well, what are you feeding yourself? You know, that's one thing that I'm really big on. Like, what are you feeding yourself? Not food. Just like you want to feed yourself healthy food, you want to feed yourself inspiration. Like, who are you listening to? Who are you paying attention to? Are you on Facebook a lot? Because that can be a huge energy suck. You know, it's like, what kinds of things are you doing to inspire yourself? And also, just one of the huge things for me too is, when are you on and when are you off? So having the on switch and having the off switch. And for me, the on switch is in the morning, like when I'm ready, I sit down at my computer and I have my space, I have that all set. The off switch, I literally turn my computer off at night and I go and spend time with my sweetie and, you know, go to the gym, do the things that I do. But, you know, so many entrepreneurs, it's like you get burned out because you're constantly at that, like, you know, 80% like on off, you're not sure what you're doing, and you all like the overwhelm just comes. And when you get support and when you can learn to take one day at a time, do one thing at a time, and turn it off, and then you get to be filled up again with the creativity and the restfulness and the self-care and all of that. But yeah, know when to turn it on and when to turn it off.
Yeah, I hear you describing boundaries. I feel like a lot of that is about boundaries. Also, like when you work from home, like you don't want to have your laptop in your bed with you all the time, or your phone right there. Like,
no, don't do that. And get dressed every morning. Don't work in your pajamas.
yeah,
Don't work in your bed.
yeah,
Don't work in your pajamas. You
yeah.
know, yeah, create those boundaries, even if they feel a little artificial. Like, create them. Create that space where you're only doing your work.
Right.
You know, you're not in bed. You're not at your, you know, hopefully at your kitchen table. I did that for years, but it's so much easier to turn things on and off when you have like your space carved out, and it helps energetically too. You know, after a while, it's like, Elizabeth Gilbert teaches this really well in her latest book. Have you read that?
Big Magic.
Yeah, I love that book. She teaches it really well. She's like, you sit down, you do your work, and whether or not you feel like it, and then you just train yourself and you get used to it. And then it just becomes a lot easier, you know?
Do you have any insight into building community? Obviously you grew an enormous community, and it's a community that people value because they keep coming back, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they showed up one time and they're like, see you next year.
Yeah.
Is there like a secret to your success in terms of getting people to keep showing up for this?
You know, consistency is a big one. I've been in the same place for almost 10 years, every week, twice a week. And at this point, I have people to help me, and I don't always show up personally, but in the beginning, I didn't take a vacation for 3 years. You know, I was there holding it down, making it happen, no matter what happened. And
Amazing.
I think it's that more than anything. And I have people that come to me and they're like, oh my God, I've been traveling, or I've been away for a year or 2 or 3. And I know, like, I come back to Oakland and this is the very first place I go, because I know that I can find all my friends here. And I know that you're here. And if anything happens, like, you know, it's like the church model. I mean, think about a church. It's there for people when they need it. When things happen, when tragedies, God forbid, happens, you know, it's like people have a place where they can gather. When people need to celebrate something, when they have a new baby, they bring their baby to ecstatic dance, you know, because it's there, the friends are there. It's like, it's this solid, consistent thing. And so many people, they just get discouraged and they quit right before they're about to have that breakthrough, you know, and I know it breaks my heart, because it's like, just keep holding it down
and showing up.
Just keep showing up
Yeah.
and keep talking about it and keep feeding yourself the inspiration and getting the support. But just consistency it's huge. It's bigger than anyone can ever, like, yeah, we need it as humans. Like, we need a consistent place where we know we can just go and rest and be ourselves.
Yeah, the word that keeps coming to mind as you're talking is refuge, like having a place that you can go, for that.
Yeah. And I mean, people, especially in the Bay Area, people get kicked out of their homes all the time because it's like, so they don't even have like that stable home base. It's like ecstatic dance is their home base where they it's a refuge. It really is, Yeah.
It's remarkable. You're remarkable. This is remarkable. But we've run out of time. So how can people find and connect and participate and follow you and all that good stuff?
Oh my God. They can go to ecstaticdance.com, get on our mailing list, check it out, see what it's about.
And when will Ecstatic Fit be coming to a gym near you? When is that happening? Is that coming to Equinox? So can I just go down the street to Equinox?
Oh my God, it will be soon. It'll be coming to the Bay Area in a couple of weeks. And but if anyone's really inspired, if they're inspired to bring dance, like come to the leadership training this summer. It's really amazing. Yeah.
Where are you doing the leadership training? Did you tell me?
In Oakland.
Oakland. Okay.
In Oakland, California. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate you spending some time with us and telling us about your practice.
Oh, likewise. This has been super fun. Thanks so much, Gabby. Thanks for doing what you do too.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can join the Women in Wellness Club at women-in-wellness.com.